Hello, friends. Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have another amazing guest for you on this episode. So I'm going to introduce her to you. Joining me today is Rosabelle Nguyen-Cunningham. She is the founder and creator of First the Moms. This is a company that is changing the way moms are supported by providing services that encourage, acknowledge, and care for her and understand her. I have already had an experience with Rosabelle through a texting service that she started where she texts moms a couple times a day with just encouraging messages, and it's really uplifted my day. So she's already greatly impacted me on a daily basis just through getting to know her and the things that she is offering. So we will be posting all of that in the description below for you to check out. But without further ado, I want to welcome Rosabelle here on the Vessel Aliveness podcast. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Carrie Ann. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
You're welcome. Let's just hop right in and learn a little bit more about you. Um,
Sounds good.
so we're going to start with the first question, which is just tell us about yourself as a human and a mom, because you're more than just a mom, right, ladies?
Yes, exactly. Amen. So yes, I am. I'll just start with yes, I'm a mom. I'm a mom of two.
Okay.
I have a 9-year-old and a 2-year-old, so a little bit of an age gap. Not exactly planned, but it's been a wonderful experience. It's been, like all of motherhood for a lot of moms. It's been up and down. Um,
Yep.
I'm also an orthopedic occupational therapist.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been practicing for, gosh, let's see, at least 15, 16 years now. But unfortunately, I had to stop because of the pandemic. I'm a high risk, so I had to stay home. So I transitioned to being a stay at home mom full time.
Wow.
So that's been quite the change. I'm also a foodie. I love to travel.
Yes.
I love staying active, being outdoors. I love to, learn new things. I'm always kind of a curious person. And I love helping people, hence why I became an occupational therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely, like you just said, a mom, but a lot of other stories too. And
Mhm.
I always like to also remind my moms that don't forget these other identities. They're super important, and it's super important overall for your health and happiness.
Yeah, and I just saw what you posted today on Instagram was about that, kind of sharing some of your other identities, not just the mom label. So I really appreciate that, being open about that and not only identifying as a tired, crazy, busy mom. You're busy because you are other things.
Exactly. I know it's so easy during the motherhood season um, to just think that you are mom. Not to think that you're mom only. I think it's just more we get very easily wrapped up in it,
Mhm.
and because it's such a busy job, it's because there's so much on the to-do list. um, but yeah, because of that, it's so easy to forget that you're Carrie Ann, you're this awesome entrepreneur, doing the cool thing for the world, and that people want to meet you because of yeah, because of all these other identities. So yeah, so that's
Oh, I love that.
I think.
Yeah, no, I love that. And then, so going right into what you have created, I assume because you had to stay home, and what you were experiencing, what is First the Moms and what inspired you to start it?
Yes. So First the Moms is a company that is focused on changing the way that mothers are supported
Mm,
throughout her entire motherhood life, not just as a new mom, as a beginning mom, but through all her stages of motherhood, because as you know, you're a mom too, motherhood changes,
Mm.
not, yearly, as your kids get older, but it almost feels like every second it changes.
Yeah.
And we need new support, and we need new guidance, and we need new information, we need new, just new help in a village just helping us. And so um, I created this so that mothers would feel always, ideally always, supported throughout motherhood.
Mhm.
And we do so by providing services that encourage her, that care for her, that acknowledge her, that uplift her, such as sending, like you mentioned, but sending daily text messages, that remind her that yes, she's doing a wonderful job, or helping her through those tough days, or yes, reminding her that she's not just mom, but yes, messages daily that just hopefully bolster her up.
Yeah.
Other things that we are providing too are different platforms that allow moms to converse and chat with each other about motherhood topics, about everything motherhood. So, for instance, we have a chat forum that allows our moms to just chat on a daily about whatever topic of that day it is, or just on anything that happens to do with maybe what they're dealing with, maybe even giving advice to other moms.
That's
um,
awesome.
I'm
I
super.
did not know that.
Yeah, so I know you were definitely one of my moms that was with us at the beginning of First the Mom. So I'm so excited, so thankful for you for being a part of that. But yeah, it's kind of evolved in the short time since you starting out with us.
It
So
really has.
adding more, and I'm so excited. Just everything and anything that we can do to help moms feel supported. We're also planning on having meetups, either and or online and in person, and so moms get to that they've met over chat, or have met me through this service, we finally get to meet in person or in real life. So
Love it.
that um, I also have a podcast too, which
Yes, I forgot to mention.
it's just beginning. So but yes, I have a podcast. I also have a blog, and both of those are also another means to help reassure moms that they're not alone, that
Mhm.
moms that understand, that are there every step of the way through this
Mhm.
wonderful, crazy journey of motherhood. So stories out there that just lets moms know, guess what you're going through, it's not strange, it's not crazy, it's not abnormal. And so yes, to again to reassure them. um so yeah, it's kind of, again, like I was mentioning, it's built up, and we are just excited to introduce it to the public, to the moms, and yeah, to continue growing First the Moms is definitely the aim.
That is awesome. I'm so excited to hear that because just everything that you have put out so far has been awesome, stellar content. And so any way that you are going to be able to channel this is it's it's going to affect so many people. And so I'm really excited to hear that. I did not know about the chat forum. I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Yeah,
And we will definitely make sure you guys have access to all of these awesome services to support you in your journey because it does change. Like I now have a teenager, and as much as everybody tried to tell me it would be different,
yeah, it's
my
still
heart didn't know how different and how hard it would be. Like
happening.
I'm almost tearing up thinking about it because it really throws you for a loop when this little kid does this flip and all of a sudden you're not cool. They don't want to hang out with you. They don't care what you're saying and you're like, "What?"
I can imagine. I can. I mean, I'm gonna actually, Carrie Ann, I'm gonna have to come to you when my
Oh my
oldest
gosh.
transitions to being a preteen and teenager. But I kind of feel like I'm having a little bit of a snippet of it, because all
Yeah.
of a sudden, yes, he is Mr. Sassy Pants and Mr. I know better than mom. And, he's kind of, he's still that sweet kid, but all of a sudden he's this other person. But yeah, I agree with you. I think no matter how much, um, loved ones and experts and, our own moms tell us what to be prepared for, I think you can never be prepared until you're in
Mhm.
the middle of it. I mean, you
They
just don't
can't tell you how your heart is gonna feel and even ache sometimes. Like, be
exactly.
honest.
There's all the emotions, the anxiety, the how much yeah, how much you get scared, fearful, and you worry so
Mhm.
much. It's just everything. You're right. You just don't know how you're going to respond until you're in the middle of it. And yeah, you don't know what questions to ask before it because you don't know what's going to happen. So yeah,
No.
I you know for me, first the moms came about because, of course, my own personal experience, and
Mhm.
it came about. Funny thing, it came about during the pandemic, um, but the pandemic was the eye opener for how I experienced motherhood those last
Mm.
8 years. He was 8 years old when the pandemic started, but
Yeah.
what was, I guess you could say, the tipping point, of course, during the pandemic, like you, like a lot of moms, we were struggling. And,
Mhm.
I hit burnout, but it was a very severe burnout where I almost was like, wow, every morning I would get up with like dread, and I would even sometimes feel like I can't get out of bed. It's just too much. So I started therapy because I
Mm.
felt like,
Good for you.
thank you. I mean, it was definitely something I'm so glad and so proud that I decided to do it, because it was not just for me, but for my family to be able to function. And
Yep.
yeah, it was definitely where, I was hitting a wall with this pandemic.
Mhm.
And, it was my therapist who really opened my eyes to, yes, the pandemic was a big contributor to how I was feeling, but she was the one that really opened my eyes to, guess what? It wasn't just that. It was your whole motherhood of not getting the support you needed, the support through the everydays of motherhood, uh,
Mhm.
the challenges and struggles of everyday motherhood, but also just um, the other extremes of motherhood that I experienced too. So yeah, just, like I said, the everydays of motherhood, you never know until you're in the midst of it what information you need. And unfortunately, all of us moms, we birth our babies and then we're just handed them, and it's almost like good luck. And we're not really almost checked up on after that, you
We
know?
weren't made for that,
Yeah,
really. As humans, like, you lived in villages, you lived in tribes, you lived in family generational homes, and it
exactly.
was never just on, especially like a single mom or a single dad or only two people. There was aunties and uncles and cousins and grandparents. And so we've really lost that community aspect, and it hurts. Like, I have experienced that too, being far from family. And even now, my parents are an hour and a half away, but it's still like they can't really help me that far away. They do what they can, but like
They
I
can
I
be
really miss that, the
exact,
community,
exact.
because some days I don't feel I can do it, and my mom could be like, "I had 8 kids. I'm still alive. You're gonna be fine." That kind of stuff. Um, so I love where your head um went after this bad experience, because it could have turned out very differently for you.
Exactly, exactly. I know that, without that realization, without, therapy too, um, I mean, I think I would, of course, probably, figured out a way to keep going, but it wouldn't have been the healthiest way for myself and my family. It would have just been, unfortunately, yeah, just continuing to survive as best I could. And, that was another reason for First the Moms, because I just thought motherhood shouldn't be this way. Motherhood shouldn't be where, you know, we settle for minimal support, or we say that's just how motherhood is. It's just a struggle. There are parts of motherhood, yes, that is going to be hard, because, we're in charge of these little humans. So, of course, there's going to be
Yeah.
parts, you know, for the rest of their life or the rest of our life. But
Yeah.
right. But yes, there's parts of motherhood that don't need to be that way. There are parts of motherhood that, yes, I agree with you, that should be in a village. And I agree with you. And I'm Vietnamese, and that's just how my culture is. It's not just your family is nearby. They literally are living in the house with you. So
Yeah.
there's always, going to be mom and grandma and grandpa and aunties and older cousins ready to take care of the little ones. And they jump in without even you having to ask.
You
And
can shower by yourself.
gosh, it is. What, what a luxury,
Oh
right?
my gosh.
Kind of warm food, maybe, but
Maybe a sip of coffee before you put it in the microwave for the fifth time.
100th time, right? Exactly. Or
Yeah.
that you did make coffee for yourself.
Right.
But yeah, so and even it's funny because not even too many decades ago, that's how society was in America. And you had neighbors who would also jump in and help you care for your kids. But unfortunately, in this present day, um, it's definitely more individualistic and more isolated, and
Yeah.
it's just not how it's meant to be. So yeah, and I thought about it. When you don't have a community, you have to fend for yourself.
Mhm.
When you fend for yourself, truly, all you can really get to is just your basic needs.
You're in
And
survival mode.
survival mode, you really can't then progress to meeting your other needs, or your needs as a human being, right? Needing,
Yeah.
and love and self-fulfill, like all that Maslow's that we learned
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
You just can't go beyond that if every single day you're just trying to, like you said, survive, trying to get your kids fed, clothed, off to school. You can't get to a higher level, not just for yourself but your kids too. So it's not just supporting moms for just mothers. And not
Mhm.
just mothers, I don't mean that as in,
No.
obviously, I believe the pillars of society, they are what makes society run and move forward and grow and become happy and healthy. But yes, mothers being happy and healthy, it spills over into every part of how the world works and how it's able to work well.
Well, we're creating the next generation.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
if we're not taking care of ourselves and showing them, they're not going to learn it. I mean, they will, that
But you're
that's
right. Exactly. Mothers are their first teachers, and they learn it the best, the healthiest way through their mom.
yeah.
Their mom is, and they learn safety. They learn so many aspects of what they need to function as healthy adults through mom. So yeah, taking care, if you want to take care of the future, you take care of moms first.
I love that. If you want to take care of the future, you take care of moms first. Yeah. Um, and then we sort of already talked about, why it's important to seek community as a parent. Um, but let's just touch a little extra on how it can add or detract from our mental health. So, community coming in as a mom or a parent in general, why why do you think community is important to our mental health?
Oh, definitely. Well, like we were saying, if you don't have someone to lean on, rely on, trust, then again, you just feel like you just have yourself to rely on. You just have yourself to to get through life, to survive, to, you have to fend for yourself. It's very stressful. It's very
Hmm.
stressful to live that way. I think of my mom. My mom was a single mom, and her family was far. She did have a church family, she did have friends, but, you know, in reality, she just had herself. And she lived in a constant state of stress, of high levels of stress.
Oh,
I look back as a mom myself, and I can't even figure out how she did it. She raised the three of us, and I'm just so grateful to her. But I see how stressed she was, um, and it spilled over into us kids. We were stressed too. But watching her, she was just always trying to almost get through her days. There was not many days where I saw her happy. It was
mm,
almost kind of like, I don't have
yes.
that. I need to figure out how to get you three fed, all four of us fed, how to, pay the rent, how to, um, get you clothed, how to even get us all to where we need to be.
It's like a
Um,
slog.
it was so much. And so, I always thought, had she had a more consistent community, how different life would have been for us
Mm,
three kids, but definitely for her. It breaks my heart that there wasn't more happiness in her life. Because I think, in general, I think, you get to a point right in life where you're like, all that matters is happiness and love and your family. That those are the most important things, truly. And so
yeah.
when you think of someone living their life and not being able to find that happiness, fulfillment, or even I kind of almost felt, because of the stress, she couldn't truly enjoy motherhood.
Mm.
And so,
Little time for joy.
exactly, joy, fulfillment, just feeling, I know she felt blessed being a mother, but
Mhm.
um I'm sure she just couldn't feel it every day.
Well,
And
she lost herself in the role
exactly, it was
without having help.
very much, it was all consuming. There was never a break. um I almost want to say, sorry mom, for being such a pain in the bottom.
Yeah, really, right? We're like, oh, we get it now. I can't believe I gave you such a hard time. And now I realize that, like, my mom raised 8 children. She homeschooled all of us. And I just feel like, how dare you? Like, how dare you give your mom a hard time when she's literally keeping 8 of you alive and educated? Like,
Exactly. And
like you
I know, I
raise
mean,
her. Oh my God.
she should
I
win
can't handle
medals.
two.
I know, exactly. I know. I always think, God, I shouldn't complain. But yeah, it makes you, motherhood is just hard. No matter how many kids you have, it's hard and it's demanding, and you need that support. Um, if anything, just to feel less alone. Because I think, in motherhood, that is just the worst feeling, to
Yeah.
have this role that is literally the hardest job on earth, and you're doing it alone. You're
Yeah.
doing feeling like you can't rely on, or not that you can't rely on it, but that there you don't feel like there is that community to rely on. And yes, if you're a new mom, you're going into this role without training, without
Mhm.
anyone giving you a manual, without anyone saying, okay, well, this is step 1, 2, and 3. So can you imagine going into a job where they're like, figure it out, you
Oh,
know
also, this person's life is in your hands.
exactly. By the way, make sure
Keep
there's
them alive, or you'll
exactly.
go to jail.
You'll get a visit from CCS or
Yeah.
CPS.
Um, and that's not like, whether you have one child or 10 children, it is a emotionally, physically, and mentally draining and tough job to be a parent. So we're not saying, the amount of kids matters. It really doesn't, because
Not at
you
all.
put the same amount of energy into that
I
one child as you would the 10. You're just spread all over
agree.
the place. And
Exactly.
so, talking about all this, what would be your advice for moms who are feeling this right now, who are feeling this burnout, this heaviness, this depression, and just loneliness in what they're doing trying to raise humans? Like, what an impossible task. So what is your advice, especially during these pandemic times? Like, that just adds the heaviest layer on top possible.
I know. Just you even saying that, yes. I feel like I'm feeling the weight. My shoulders are getting heavy.
Yeah.
I'm right there.
I didn't even know how to say it. Like, how you can't put this into words.
No, at all. And it's funny because I think that we're going to be feeling the stress of what we just went through for many years to come. And yeah, I feel like it's even
Mhm.
more reason for mothers to reach out. But
Yes.
yes, the advice I would give first and foremost is, to not feel shame or embarrassed at all that you are struggling in some way, that you are feeling these heavy feelings and emotions, to not at all, because especially I feel like in this day and age where there is that Instagram and Pinterest mom that we feel these really high expectations and standards to live by. So it's so easy for us moms to hide it and to want to hide it and not to come off as any less of a perfect mom. So that's the first thing, is just to definitely, please don't at all feel like you're less in any way as a mom or a person because you're feel it's normal. We have been
100%.
right. And so that's the first thing I would say. And the second thing is to yes, to reach out to, whoever that you want to, reach out to, that you trust, whoever, whether it be a spouse or a friend, reach out, whether it be a therapist. I mean, I know taking that step feels like you are trying to step over a huge ravine. It's
Mhm.
especially for us moms, we're the caretakers, we're the ones who are used to helping others. So it's really hard for us to go out and ask for help, but you don't always have to start with, hey, this is everything I'm going through. If you were to ask for help from a friend or loved one, just say, hey, you know what? I just want to be in your presence right now. I just want to be in your calm presence. We don't have to talk. We don't have to do anything really, but just to, sit in
Yeah.
your presence, or, have a cup of coffee, but reach out. It's really important to start with recognizing the need for that. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, those are the main things I would definitely recommend. Come to me, come to you, Carrie Ann.
Yes.
But yes, to reach out to someone, to a mom. There are so many people that are waiting to have you come and talk. Tell us what's going on.
Right. And adding to that, no matter where you're at in your life, and some people are in a lonelier setting, and maybe the way that they work. So, and I've told you guys before, and I'm going to say it again, I absolutely am here to chat with you. We're not all about, selling services. We really want to add to your life. These podcasts and some of
Yes,
these services are offered to you for free
yes,
because we know how hard it is. And so if you are struggling, especially with depression and anxiety, like, reach out, send either of us a message, and we will chat with you. We'll try and lift your heart a little bit, or just say we get it, we'll hold space for you,
we understand.
because we think it's that important.
Very much so. Very much so. I mean, there a company called Motherly that put out a report saying this past year, gosh, I forget if the number is 79% or 93%, but either number is very high, that reported um, mothers being burnt out on that percentage.
I
Because
believe it.
right, I mean, it's incredible. But the funny thing is that they're saying before pandemic, that percentage has steadily increased. That
Hmm.
percentage of mothers reporting burnout. So again, it's not just the pandemic; it's motherhood life. It's the present demands by society. It's how busy we are. We're so much busier than years past. So there's a reason. There's a very legit reason why us mothers are burnt out. So again,
Yeah.
I want our mom community out there to know that, you know, it's right now, it's very normal to feel what you're feeling. And
Yeah.
gosh, there is such a good reason, and you're not abnormal, you're not weird, you're
No.
actually more normal than than you think. So I think it's for your platform, Carrie Ann, and my platform, it's all about giving the mothers the okay to feel this way.
Yeah.
Um,
And tools, right, to start feeling a little more supported and better. And just briefly, because we're saying the word burnout, and I know that we've talked about also depression and anxiety, but that can look different for everybody. So a lot of times when I know my body really well, I've learned it through the years and trained my brain to pick up on signals. But for somebody just starting out, for me, burnout a lot of times just looked like I was really tired all the time. Not that I was having depressive thoughts necessarily, and that did occur, but it started more as like just an exhaustion and really not being motivated to go out or to be social. And so listening to that as kind of a little warning when you can't get your energy levels up no matter what you do, that is a symptom of burnout. It can be.
very
Um, and also, it's okay to listen to that and kind of come back into yourself a little bit and let somebody know how you're doing, but also saying no to events that overwhelm you right now. And that is the podcast that I put out last week. If you listen to it, was about the holidays and how moms, like, we try to be Santa to everybody.
Mhm.
And we do things for tradition because we've always done them. And like, we don't have to do that. Like, prioritize your well-being and your mental health, because don't put that tradition over how you're feeling right now. It is literally not worth your sanity, and your kids need you whole and happy. They
Right.
don't need the experience your grandmother gave
No,
you
no, agreed.
necessarily.
Absolutely agreed. I mean, like you just said, it's about listening to your body. And it's so hard for us moms because again, we're so busy listening to everyone else's needs. And oftentimes we just don't have time to stop for a second and really go into ourselves and go, hey, what am I physically feeling? What am I mentally feeling? What am I emotionally feeling? Right. And then, yes, agreed, where we just feel like we have to say yes to everything. We have to, and because we want to make our loved ones happy, or we think that that's what's going to make our loved ones happy. But yeah, truth be
We
told, I
martyr ourselves.
completely. And, you know,
We were
there's,
taught that.
we were taught
We
exactly.
were programmed to do that, guys.
As mothers, that's our job, right? But no,
Yeah.
I mean, truth is yeah, we really need to um pick and choose what works for our family,
Hmm.
but especially for us. And it doesn't have to be at all, anything close to that image that you see um, on the internet, on social media, or what your friends have posted. What works for you. And I think that's
Hmm.
also another hard part is um, to go, hey, no, that doesn't work for me. I'm going to walk away from it. I'm going to try my best to close my ears and eyes, which obviously it's so hard. But I think yeah, practicing no, it's a good thing. It definitely
Yeah.
is not about um, trying to be a disappointment to someone else. It's about being your best advocate. You being
Hmm.
your best, being the best fighter for yourself and your family. But yeah, I agree. It's so hard for me to not think with my kids, oh, they're doing it, I should sign my kids up for that. Or they have this costume. Let me go ahead and make sure they're doing that too. They have this amazing party. Oh my gosh, I better make sure
Yes.
that it's on that level. And it's craziness, because at the end of the day, it's like, wow, that was a lot more work than worth.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, even like you just mentioned birthday parties. When I grew up, like we had a family party. My mom made the cake.
Yes,
I'm done.
exactly.
Like she would make pizza or something. I don't know. I got a couple friends parties throughout my
Yeah,
lifetime at like 13 and
right,
16, the important numbers.
right.
Um,
Oh, that was
but
yes.
now it's like, bouncy castles and
Oh my
renting a
God.
venue, and they invite their whole class, and you have to make gift bags
Oh my
and
God. It's insane. It's insane and it's ridiculous, but somehow that's the expectation now. And I mean, good for those who want to do it. I think it's wonderful. I think it's neat when I go to a party like that. Um,
but
but
the expectation is super high.
oh, amazingly high. And I just always, you always kind of look at the mom and you go, I don't know if she's having fun. you know,
Yeah.
it's
And
it's
some of them do. I'm not, some people are party planners at heart. And we're not knocking on birthday parties that you're
no,
holding for your children at all. We're just saying the expectations on today's women and mothers and parents in this society is extremely high on
yes,
how, yeah, how
it
we're supposed to
is
perform as a parent.
impossible. It is. And and even though, and again, I read that dads are stepping up to the job,
100%.
but women still, we are still taking the majority. And
Hmm.
we are, again, I'm learning and reading all these things. It's actually putting labels to things that we women feel, but we are the emotional managers.
Hmm.
We are the ones who are always watching the temperature of the household and making sure, everyone's happy, or if someone's sad, it's us women who notice it, are responsible for it, are, taking the lead on it. And that is a huge job. It's a huge role to be in charge of that. It's so yeah, I mean, no matter how much our society is progressing, mothers are still expected to do more. Um, I mean,
Yeah, and they're not praised for doing the same work that a dad would get praised for doing.
very
Um,
much so. It's still
yeah.
funny that, my husband brings in my kids to the doctor and it's like, oh, look at you, look at dad. And I bring,
Where's mom? Why isn't she here?
what is she doing? Like, she should be here. But yeah, you bring in the kids and it's like, oh, sign here. Wait, where's my praise? Where's my
I'm
congratulations?
a good mom.
I
No.
brought them here.
Right, because there's an expectation, and that's not a bad thing. That is not what we're saying either.
No,
But yeah, oh my
it's
gosh.
it's still a little unfair.
Yeah, because I think we do work really hard. So anyway, first the moms is all about giving you and me the support that we need to navigate all this crazy stuff in today's world.
Yes.
Um, and so kind of tying this all together, we've been talking a lot today about mental health, but I like to get everybody's perspective on health because I believe that health is a bio individual thing. Nobody's health or body type or shape is going to be the same as anybody else's. So, what does being healthy mean to you?
Definitely. So for me, being healthy, I feel, is when I'm aligned with my body, my mind, my heart's needs and wants. And this is a big deal because
Yep.
I don't know if it's partly cultural, being Vietnamese, or my personality, or me just kind of being the person who has always been like, okay, let's just get the job done, not, sit here and dilly dally, like get the job done. Um, so I've kind of always just been like, let's just get, through it. But because of the pandemic, because of me feeling eye opened, I now am learning to really first ground myself,
Hmm.
and then check in. And it's been really great. Like I'm just checking in. I mean, even down to what I'm eating, right? I'm going, I'm eating
Yeah.
and I'm going, oh wow, that doesn't feel good. Whereas before I would just be like, okay,
Yay.
yeah, I know. I'm so yes. I mean, this is your forte. I have to
I
like
love it. I love hearing that. The awareness is like, that's all I'm asking people. Just become aware.
become aware. And it's, it's so funny because it really does just take a second. And I know you know this. So this is all stuff where you're like, duh, why isn't everyone but to me,
I
it's
love
like,
hearing it. I do.
I feel mind blown. This is how I'm taking my first steps. But yeah, it's stuff like, what am I eating and I don't feel good? Oh, I can see that maybe I shouldn't be eating this. But it's also, yes, like how we talked about saying no when that choice doesn't feel right. Before
Yeah.
I would be an automatic yes. I'm a people pleaser. So I would say, oh yes,
Yeah.
yes, let me fit that into my schedule of 100 million other things I have to do, but I'll fit it in. So yeah, and just being aligned, yes, with my values, and so it's my healthy path is just trying to find my alignment. Um,
Mm.
yeah,
I love that explanation. That is really it resonates with me, obviously. And I love it when somebody is taking that step to kind of step back into themselves and stop looking at the current diets and the trends and other people's bodies. And like, I don't even want you looking at my menu. Like, I do share my food with you sometimes, what on Instagram and stuff, but I'm not sharing it so that you make the same exact thing and eat the same way I do. It just seems that people are interested in seeing what I eat, so I show them. But
yeah,
your meal plan and what feeds and fuels your body is going to be completely different than mine.
yes, yes,
So
yeah,
explore that, just like Rosabelle is saying that she has been doing, is just becoming aware of how stuff is making her feel. And not just food. What I'm gathering is that you're talking everything, mental, emotional. You're making sure you feel good in the
yeah.
body you are in.
Exactly, exactly. It's almost kind of whole new, you know, revamp, remodel, gutting things out.
Yeah,
Literally and
that's how
figuratively.
we grow.
Yeah, yeah. And just kind of, yeah, moving things, the things that don't work out and replacing it with things that do.
Absolutely. And
hmm
so my next question that I love to ask everybody is, what brings you a little joy each day?
Oh gosh. Well, it's going to sound pretty cliche, but of course my kids,
Mhm.
my kids right now. And I used to, like I said, am an occupational therapist, not practicing. Um, but I was a working mom, so I didn't get to spend as much time with them, and
Yeah.
now I get to, and it's great because with my older one, for instance, I get to see when we were distance learning. I got to see what I say that with eyes rolled.
I know we're both kind of like chuckling to ourselves, distance learning. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yes. I was able to see his personality in the school setting, and it was really neat. It was really cool. And then, yeah, I got to see furthermore what a cool kid. I know I'm biased, but what a cool kid he is, and how funny,
Yeah.
and, and I love that I was able to provide him safety during this time. I can imagine, and I know there are moms out there who during that time they had to work or they wanted to,
Mhm.
and it's great. For me in our household, I missed work. I love what I do. But I was so happy to be able to provide a safe feeling for my kids that we're
Yeah.
going through this, we're going through all these changes, but at least mom's there. Mom's there.
Yeah.
You can literally turn and look at her, and she's there. Um, and yeah, now I get to see my see my 2-year-old go through all those fun like
Oh,
developmental milestones, and it's
a
really neat.
great age.
So fun. It's such a fun person. Fun, exactly. Great stage and age. And right now she's learning how to talk, and it's
Oh,
really
it's my
fun and
favorite.
quiet. Oh my gosh! But then she's also, in I don't know. I hope we're on the tail end of the terrible twos. But she's definitely Miss Attitude, and but it's so cute anyways. So yes,
Yeah.
it really is them, and you know, um, gosh, motherhood is so stinking hard, but they are the fruits of that labor, and um, I would definitely not change being a mom. I would change the support.
Amen. Yeah. And especially when I'm feeling burnout and stuff, my kids really do give me a reason to get out of bed, and there have been times where I have felt so down that they literally, I knew I had to get up and feed them, or
Right.
I knew that I needed to show up and do something fun or play a game with them. And in turn, guess who it helped me too, not just
Right.
them. So I get it. They're like, drive you crazy and we're having a hard time, but at the same time, they are like your reason for doing everything. They were my reason for healing and for getting better and for changing my life, because I just felt very deeply they deserved so much more than what I was doing.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, it truly is. You know, you love your kids. You love them so much that, yes, you would pull yourself out of the depths of despair. It's hard work.
Yeah.
Um, and again, that's why we need more support for moms.
Yes,
But
I'm
yeah,
not saying to stay in that by yourself.
no, definitely, definitely. But yeah, they can definitely be the reason, the motivation for so much change. Because I'm not going to
Hmm.
say like when I was in my depths, that I would look at him and be like, pop out of bed, okay, I'm ready to be your mom. There were still so many days where, you know I turn to my kids, and and it breaks my heart, but I would turn to them and say, I just can't today. You're going to have to
Hmm.
go to dad, or you're just going to have to sit and figure something out to entertain yourself. But I can't. But
Yeah.
yeah, it did get to a point where um, it was breaking my heart that it was happening so often, and it wasn't working. This wasn't working for my family. So
Another red flag.
another red flag. But now it's funny because I feel like my kids, when I'm so sorry.
No, it's
I
fine.
feel like when I'm having this, oh my gosh, so stressful day. I mean, you're an entrepreneur where there's not enough hours in the day, and literally when you get one thing done, 100 other to-dos pop up, and you're
Yep.
just like, I don't know what to do. I, you know, and my kid is saying, hey, mom, play with me. And I go, okay, let's play. The upside of that moment, I realized, was going, you know what? I'm just going to play with you. I'm just going to focus on playing
Yep.
with you and not worry about anything else. Set that aside and just enjoy that moment. And I
Yeah. It'll still be there.
it'll still be there. So, kids just remind you to be present, to just
Yeah.
enjoy this moment right now. Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about the future, but just enjoy this moment right now. Just chill, mom. Enjoy
Yeah.
this. And I just love that about them. And that was something that I would miss, again, being a working mom. But I understand now. I understand
Oh,
how really it is so important. And there's such a wonderful reminder of that, to just be present here right now. And that's it.
yeah. Absolutely. I agree. And I love that answer. Because, yes, even though we can get frustrated, our children still do bring us a lot of joy. Um, so, what a great episode for you guys. We're going to start wrapping up here. And Rosabelle, thank you so much for being on here with me
Oh,
today.
fun. Thank
Um,
you.
tell everybody, if they don't remember anything that we talked about today, what is that one golden nugget you really want them to take away from our conversation?
Oh gosh, you know, moms, put yourself first. I know
Mm.
it's hard. I know we have no time to do it, but find that little moment to put yourself first, because
Mhm.
um you have to be your biggest fighter for that. You have to be your biggest warrior, um to put yourself first. And just know, when you put yourself first, you are doing this wonderful ripple effect through your family,
Yes.
through society. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful how your happiness, that's going to help you, is going to be something that so many people are going to feel. So
Yeah,
yourself first. You're worth
I
it.
love that.
So thank you for having me.
Yes, and tell everybody where they can find you and what your current offerings are. And I will be linking everything so that you can find Rosabelle on all of her platforms in the description below.
Yes. So our website is www.firstthemoms.com, or you can find us on Instagram. The handle is @firstthemoms. I do have a Facebook page, but it's not as active. I'm sorry, I'm not Facebook savvy, so I'm still trying to figure it out.
Okay.
And also the same with Pinterest. I'm still kind of trying to figure it out. And right now, what we're offering is a free basic subscription, which allows you daily uplifting text messages, or the premium package, which allows you also the daily text messages, and additionally the forums to chat with other moms.
Oh, yay.
Yes, and then the meetups that are going to be either online or in person. You also get access to my blog and podcasts. And then also, I've been partnering with businesses that are mom friendly, that are offering different discounts for their products and services. So I'm really excited. I'm trying to also build it up. I'm trying to build up everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so there's a free basic and the premium. You can either subscribe for a monthly plan, which is $10, or an annual plan, which is $100. So yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. I am definitely going to be checking that out myself. That forum sounds really cool, just getting the advice from different moms, especially in the stage I'm heading into with teens and preteens. It
Oh,
is like alien land out here for me.
you're scaring me a little bit here.
No, it's just like I don't know how I all of a sudden there is this field of landmines in my house that weren't here before, and so now I'm like stepping on all these things that are like oh, they didn't like what I said there, or they didn't like that look, or like that was fine like a year ago and now I can't.
Boy.
It's just like things kind of take you aback a little, and anyway, I'm navigating it. I'm pretty good at taking a minute, and if I'm feeling I think it's an ego thing too.
Yeah,
Like your ego gets hurt a little bit because you have all like I have pictures hanging here from my daughter when she was little, like, you're the best mom in the whole world, like, all these like lifting you up things, and then
right.
they get to these years and it doesn't always happen. So it'll come back around. They're perfectly normal and perfectly fine. And I'll
Mhm.
keep telling myself that.
That's
And they
your
do
mantra.
love me.
Those will be your mantras.
Yeah, they do love me. They do love me.
As we
No.
rock ourselves in the corner. I love
Oh my gosh. No, my kids are really awesome. I'm not, but
I
yeah,
know it.
it's just
I know
it
it.
is a different way of navigating
Yes. Yes.
because you're having to also let go at the same time. So
Gosh, yeah.
I'm going to be checking that out to find support for myself.
Please, please.
Um
Actually, you might just be the advice giver. I mean,
hey, I love that too. Absolutely. I will be
yeah.
there.
Oh, yes, definitely. We would love to have you.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you again so much. I hope that this conversation blesses your hearts this week. And please let us know. Please leave comments on our Instagram pages, share this episode, and tag both at First the Moms and at either the Evolution Journey or the Vessel Aliveness podcast. And we will share you in our stories as well. So thank you so much for being here, everybody, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.